Yo, what's good with you? Back in black for another Enlisted video. If you guys are new to the channel and you love shooting games just like me, make sure you aim for that like button and shoot that subscribe button as well. It'll help you find better teammates and improve your skill-based matchmaking. At least I hope so. In this video, I just wanted to go over 5 things I would like to see for Enlisted in 2025. Of course, I took a big hiatus from this game and I have recently started playing again. So these are things that are mostly geared towards myself and other very experienced players who have pretty much unlocked everything. If you feel like I am tripping, you can always let me know down in the comment section. But yeah, let's get right into it. First thing I would like to see is for them to bring back the option to choose theaters or where you fight. Basically, in retrospect, I miss the ability to choose where I spend my time just as much as what faction I'm fighting for. I'm aware this may cause larger splits in the pool of players, but frankly, it's kind of annoying when a new map or battlefield is released and basically you have to go fishing as far as hoping you get put on that new map as far as in any given game. And I'm sure you guys as developers aren't fan of people just deserting because they want to play on a new match as opposed to staying in the game. It just causes people to quit, and that's not good for anybody. Number 2. Improve squad functionality. I'd be remiss not to mention the major improvements of the AI in Enlisted over time. They've gone from cannon fodder to death machines that could laser you across the map through a bush that, a real person couldn't even see you through. Then they've gone back to practically more or less useless again in a gunfight. And I understand that balancing them between being too good and not good at all is a tricky thing to pull off in this game, but I reckon their effectiveness should more so be tied to how well equipped they are and how upgraded that soldier is. I would also like to see improvements on how far you can be away from them, because if I want to go on a very wide flank with my expendable rifleman or blow up a pesky tank with my anti-tank gunner, I don't want my engineers and my machine gunner following me across the street, which makes the flank hella obvious in my personal opinion, and it gets my squad murked in the process. Not only should we get a longer leash for the squad generally speaking, as far as like how far away we can be from them, they should be able to do more things generally speaking to serve you as a player while you're actually shooting players. This game is a first person shooter after all, so a lot of the busy work is going to be you actually doing what you do mid gunfight. So being able to tell a squad mate to put down an anti-tank mine in a certain spot, or being able to tell your engineer to build a machine gun nest while you switch to a different player, and he actually being able to continue that process and not just like glitch out for some odd reason. I feel like these are things that should just be general features, and I just don't think it's something that's hard to implement as far as AI, because I think back to a game in 2007 called Brothers in Arms, and again, one could generally argue that the squad features in that game were way more fleshed out than they are in this game, which is a shame considering this game came out in 2020. And I'm thinking perhaps we could use the command wheel to improve on the functionality of what you can do with your squad, as opposed to these useless quips that essentially mean nothing, which will lead me into my next point. For number 3, I've been going on asking for this for like 5 years, but can we please get voice chat between all teammates in the middle of a game? Like, I just feel like this is a default feature that should be in any shooter game that requires teamwork and cooperation. Why would you make a war game that forces you to play with other teammates and require teamwork for success, but then proceed to have basically no way to coordinate with them as a team aside from a whack-ass chat wheel, where you basically can't even say what you want to say 80% of the time, if I'm being quite frank. So it's kind of disheartening to not be able to coordinate a multi-pronged flank combined with artillery and a good bomb drop from a pilot, unless you guys are just telepathically in sync or already in a squad prior to matchmaking. And I just feel like the social aspect of this game is non-existent almost. One of the things that made Call of Duty the titan it is when it comes to first-person shooters is the social component that they had back in the day. And I do know a lot of that was facilitated by Microsoft, and they had a lot of social aspects in the Xbox generally speaking, but that's neither here nor there. literally you should just be able to talk to anybody that's on your team, whether it be for teamwork or whether it be for fun. And yes, obviously there's going to be some toxic bad people or bad apples, and that kind of stuff is inevitable if we're being quite frank when it comes to online gaming. And if it's really that deep, it can be moderated, I'm pretty sure. I genuinely feel like I'm just not the only one who thinks this game would be better served if people were allowed to like talk to each other, and then basically we could just talk about how much we love history. We could coordinate attacks for more wins, or coordinate defense for more wins. We could make friends easier, or we could just shoot the shit. Also, pun intended. Also, why can't you just add people when you click on their name mid-game, but you're allowed to click on their name to complain? What would you even be complaining about if you're not even allowed to talk to each other? It's just weird. And a long time ago, just going on a tangent here, PlayStation basically had these things called accolades, where like after a game you could click on somebody's name and you could say like what you thought about the player, whether they were like a good teammate or a good leader, whatever the case may be. And I used to get a lot of those accolades, and that's how I made a lot of my friends playing this game in the first place. I don't know why that's something that PlayStation took away either. They're basically just destroying all the social aspects of the gaming like industry, but they also want to expand on all the microtransactions and all the things that you can pay for. And I think it's just kind of backwards, and I think it's to a point where I just think like everybody has to complain at some, like through Twitter or like whichever way you like look at the news for them. Like you have to say something about it, because they're not going to add it if everybody isn't complaining, or all the helpers aren't seeing all the feedback from people generally speaking. And let me know if you agree, if this game would be better if you could just talk to whoever you want, like whenever you hop in a game. There's 10 of us, or there should be 10 of us, and yet nobody is saying a word, which I don't know, it just makes the game more boring overall in my personal opinion. For number 4, I would just like to see a higher frequency of maps, and this is mainly because I already unlocked most of all the guns and the equipment and the vehicles in the game. So like the only thing that is really left for me to look forward to is more maps. And I know for a fact this game makes a lot of money this company makes a lot of money because of War Thunder. I would assume this game does the same thing, because I see a plethora of people running around with premium squads and vehicles that cost upwards of $40, which is an insane pricing to me, but it is a free game, so they can do whatever they want. No judgment. The reason I mention that is because I'm just wondering where all that money is going. It can't be into the development for real, because literally, if you think about it, we get like 1 to 2 maps per year, and y'all can let me know if I'm tripping, but I just think that is simply unacceptable from a consumer standpoint. And again, I know it's a free game. I just think it's unfortunate too, because one thing that I would like to applaud Enlisted for is that they like to go to places where you normally wouldn't see any other World War II game go, hence the recently added Burma campaign. But yeah, having to wait a year basically for one map, 2 if you're lucky, just doesn't really fly in my personal opinion, and is one of the bigger reasons that I fell off playing Enlisted not too long ago in the first place, because again, once you unlock all the equipment, what really is there to do aside from just play the same maps over and over again? And mind you, I've already done this on every faction. It's not like I've just done it on one faction as well, so there's that. I've been playing this game since 2020, mind you, so honestly, I know this company is very money driven, generally speaking. So what I would propose is that like if there was a way that we could give you guys money to get more maps instead of just like more vehicles that are like the same iteration of another vehicle for the 4th time, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I'm being real. I'm assuming it's just less dev time to make a vehicle for the 10th time as opposed to making an entire battlefield, so I can see why they do it and try and pass that off for expenses instead. For number 5, and the last thing I would like to see from Enlisted in 2025, I would just like to see more unique events. So I know Enlisted is clearly derived from War Thunder, so I was thinking that along with getting new weapons and vehicles from said event just by playing it, events should be tied to specific maps or game variants. If a new map comes out, clicking on the event tab should make it so that I'm only playing on that new map. it just kind of ties back into my first point earlier, where I wish we could choose where we actually play. Again, for lack of better words. Or they could do something more so like game variant similar to the zombies mode. I wouldn't mind a North African or a Kursk primary tank battle event, or maybe like a plane only event for the Battle of London, something of that nature. Just ideas to spice up events generally speaking, as opposed to the, oh well, if you play and you play for 2 hours straight, you can get one gun that you can give to one of your soldiers, you know, stuff like that. So I'm just trying to make it more thematic and make it more fun generally speaking. Sometimes I feel like this game is kind of, I don't want to say lazy, but I just feel like their resources could be put towards better things, or they make bad decisions sometimes. So again, this is just me providing some feedback. If you feel like there's anything that I missed or something that you would like to see from Enlisted in 2025 that I did not cover, please drop it down in the comment section. I do appreciate you guys for watching. If you have made it thus far, most of the changes that they have made up until this point have made it a much better game than when it came out in 2020, so I do want to give them their credit where credit is due. Just wanted to again provide some feedback for things that I would like to see that are almost, I would say, pivotal to making this game way better than it is right now. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. I do appreciate you very much for watching. Don't forget to aim for that like button, shoot that subscribe button as well. It'll help you find better teammates and improve your skill-based matchmaking. At least I hope so. And yeah, Black Guy out.